Hello friends, good morning, all of you. Here I am Gadekar Sachin Pandit. Today we are discuss on sixth chapter such as supercritical fluid chromatography. Okay, so last lecture we are discuss a fifth chapter LCM SMS and its interfaces used in LC and MSMS. Okay, so in this we are also discuss a application of this. Okay, so in this we are use a molecular weight determination. First, method development, and then we discuss a target molecular analysis by using LCMSMS. Okay, so then also we are discuss a cone voltage application in LCMS. Okay, so today we are discuss supercritical fluid chromatography. In this chromatography we use a supercritical fluid. First, chromatography. What is chromatography? It is a separation technique. Chromatography, it is a separation technique, and in this we use a column. These columns we use a stationary phase and mobile phase. Okay, so stationary phase we use a silicate material, and mobile phase we use a some liquid gases or supercritical fluid. Okay, so first we use a gas chromatography. In column we use a gas as a mobile phase, carrier gas we use. In HPLC we use a liquid as a mobile phase. Okay, they may be polar, non-polar, etc. This depends on our target analysis. Okay, so in this supercritical fluid chromatography we use a mobile phase as a supercritical fluid. Okay, so this supercritical fluid used as a mobile phase in this chromatography. Okay, so in liquid there are different phases are present in suppose example water, any matter, suppose it's present in gas form, liquid form and solid form. In this figure matters are present in different state such as gas form, liquid form and solid form. In this three phases combines at a particular point, that is triple point. In this triple point matter cannot be solid, cannot be liquid, cannot be in gas form. Okay, in these all phases are in equilibrium. Okay, these particular points is nothing but a triple point. These point may be solid, may be liquid and may be gases in form. Okay, so then liquid and gas, these two phases in between a presence another phase means supercritical phase. In this phase these liquid cannot be or these solvent cannot be liquid form as well as in gaseous form. In between the supercritical phase are present. Okay, that point liquid cannot be or solid, they cannot be in form of gas as well as in liquid. Okay, supercritical fluid we use as a mobile phase in this supercritical fluid chromatography. Okay, supercritical fluid chromatography is any substance at a temperature and pressure which is above its critical point, the presence a supercritical fluid. Okay, substance at a temperature and pressure which is above its critical point. Okay, in this point the substance cannot be, a solvent cannot be liquid form and a as a gas form. Okay, this particular point, it is a supercritical point. Okay, so substance at temperature and pressure which is above its critical point, and this is nothing but a supercritical fluid. Critical point such as phase boundary is lost. Okay, so neither gas form phase or in liquid form phase. Okay, so above the critical point, above the critical pressure, they forms a liquid, and above the temperature, critical temperature, they forms a gas. Okay, so above the critical pressure, they forms a liquid phase. Above the critical temperature, they forms a gas phase. Okay, so in this region beyond this, critical pressure and critical temperature is said to be critical fluid. Okay, so in this we use a different types of supercritical fluids. Okay, so different solvents we use as a mobile phase in this. Okay, so many mobile phase or so many supercritical fluids are used in chromatography, in this chromatography, SFC. So out of this, fours are mostly used, fourth is more used, and in this mobile phase we use supercritical fluid chromatography, we use a mobile phase such as CO2 as a supercritical fluid, dinitrogen oxide, methane, ethane. These four types of supercritical fluid is mostly used. Out of these four, more used in CO2, and other these three is rarely used, because methane and ethane, like this supercritical fluid phase handling purpose, highly explosive, that's why they are rarely used. Dinitrogen oxide, these are also unstable and highly oxidizing agent, act as a nitrating agent, so that's why they are also rarely used as a supercritical fluid. Okay, so carbon dioxide in this first table, carbon dioxide at a critical temperature near about 31.0 and its pressure, critical pressure near about 72.8, these temperature and pressure apply on this carbon dioxide, they forms a supercritical fluid. Okay, similarly dinitrogen oxide, its supercritical temperature near about 36.5 and supercritical critical point pressure near about 73.0. Okay, this critical temperature and pressure dinitrogen oxide act as a supercritical fluid phase. Similarly methane and ethane, methane, its critical temperature is 32.2 and critical pressure is 48.7. Similarly ethane act as a supercritical fluid at a critical temperature near about 9.4 and critical pressure 50.6. Okay, so next is the physical property of supercritical fluid. First parameter density, then viscosity, then diffusivity. So first is the density. Density of supercritical fluid such as carbon dioxide is in liquid phase. If carbon dioxide present in liquid phase, at that time its density near about 1, and this density in gas phase, its 0.001. Okay, so in the phase, change phase, supercritical phase, supercritical fluid phase, at that time its density near about 0.2 to 0.8. Okay, similarly its viscosity in the presence of liquid, at that time its viscosity 0.5 to 1, and gas form its viscosity 0.01. Then in presence of supercritical fluid, its viscosity near about 0.05 to 0.1. Similarly, diffusivity 10 raised to 5 in liquid phase, in gas phase 10 raised to minus 1, and supercritical phase at that time its diffusivity is 10 raised to minus 3. Okay, so these parameter physical property, there are different in liquid, gas and supercritical fluid phase. Okay, so first is the density. So in this supercritical fluid, density in between the liquid and gas phase. Similarly in viscosity, its supercritical fluid, its viscosity is lower than gas phase, but it's above the in liquid phase. Okay, so its viscosity. Next is the diffusivity. Okay, so diffusivity is in between the gas and supercritical fluid, in liquid and gas. Okay, so this is the physical property of carbon dioxide in the presence of different phases. Supercritical phase is different density, viscosity and diffusivity. So now first, why mostly use a CO2 as a supercritical fluid? Why CO2 used as a mobile phase in SFC, mostly used? Why? Because its operating cost of CO2 is very low. Second, after the chromatographic process completion, CO2 is ventilated easily, removed easily. Okay, so environment friendly also. So this is the most important application we use to CO2. It's environmentally friendly. Environmentally friendly. So next is the its highly accessible critical point, easy available and expensive, purity is high. Relatively it's non-toxic. Okay, so these 3 points is most important, that's why they are used as a mobile phase in supercritical fluid chromatography. First is the easily accessible critical point. Okay, so easy available, then purity is high, and last is the it's relatively non-toxic as compared to other supercritical fluid. This is dinitrogen oxide, methane, ethane, etc. So next is the it acts as a non-polar. Okay, mainly require modifier. Okay, additives, and was a normal phase technique. Okay, so why we are use a additives and other mobile phase we add? Because its polarity is very low, non-polar. So CO2 act as a non-polar, and we are separate a polar compound. At that time we have to need increase the polarity of mobile phase, So that's why we are add a additives. Okay. So next, as a mobile phase, it has high diffusion coefficient. So that's drop due to modifier we are use. Drop is due to the cluster effect, and CO2 has low intermolecular interaction takes place. CO2 has low intermolecular interaction in mobile phase. So that's why hence it is very efficient for this supercritical fluid as a mobile phase. So in this slide we are discuss a instrumental part. Okay. So in this supercritical fluid chromatography, different instrumental components are present. Okay. First is the gas chamber, second is the conversion module, CFC conversion module, and third is the degasser, and then pump, then extend loop, and auto sampler holder, or, or it may be present a manual sampler, and then column. Okay, so present in maybe oven because maintaining temperature. Okay, so these 6 types of components are most important for the instrumental in this supercritical fluid chromatography. First is the CO2, second is the conversion module, third is the degasser, then different pump system, and external loop, auto sampler, maybe manual sampler, and then column, it's present a oven because maintaining the temperature. First, gas chamber. In this gas chamber present a CO2 in the form of gas. They transfer in conversion module. In this conversion module there are 3 components are also present. First is the booster. Okay. So then chiller because it's remove the temperature and they cool, CO2 gas cooling, and then back pressure, and these back pressure maintain the pressure of the flow, and then degasser they are remove the bubbles, excess bubbles. Okay, so pure CO2 gas they may be convert into these degasser, and then this degasser again gas CO2 pass in the pumping system. Okay, this pumping system CO2 converts a supercritical fluid form, and then modifier, and this modifier and CO2 supercritical fluid then mix, and then these transfer towards the sampler holder. Okay, external loop they present the our sampler, and this sampler we introduce the our analyte sample, and then column transfer towards the column, and these columns our sample diffuse or resolve in this column. Okay, mobile and stationary state present in this column, and this helps to the separation purpose. Okay, particular analytes, and then separated elute transferred towards the detector. In this detector we detect the our analytes, and these information transferred towards the computer system, and then display our result. Okay, so this is the instrumental diagram of supercritical fluid chromatographic instrument. So here we discuss a stationary phase and mobile phase in this supercritical fluid chromatography. First we use as a silica and zirconia as a stationary phase because silica is bonded in fixed form, and then few these phase few reports on zirconia particles could be non-polar. These zirconia is act as a non-polar. Okay, so their polarity presently wide range of good stationary phase. Okay, so we use a stationary phase as a silica as well as zirconia. Okay, so next is the mobile phase. So many mobile phase we are used in this supercritical fluid chromatography, but out of these four is most important: CO2, carbon dioxide, dinitrogen oxide, methane, ethane. Okay, so out of these four, mostly we are used as a CO2. CO2 is the most used fluid, supercritical fluid in this chromatography. Okay, so radially available. Why? Because it is radially available and it's expensive, easy accessible critical point near about 31 degree centigrade, and its pressure near about 20 bar. Okay, so relatively it is safe handling purpose, and then it considered as a green compound or green fluid, green solvent in these HPLC or supercritical fluid chromatography. So then relatively non-toxic, lower concentration, primary components in mobile phase. We use a modifier with organic solvent, or sometimes we use as a highly polar additives because it depends on our analyte. Our analyte is lower polar, then we use a CO2. It's increasing polarity, we use a additives. So highly polar additives, highly polar analytes, at that time we use a highly polar additives. So modifiers and co-solvents we use in this technique. So few organic solvents are act as a modifiers. Okay, such as methanol. Methanol it act as a modifier. So there are different types of modifiers we are used, such as first water, ethanol, THF. THF tetrahydrogen fluoride. Okay, DCM dimethyl formamide I also use. So then second acetonitrile. Acetonitrile, ethyl acetate and acetic acid. So next modifier we use third acetone, isopropanol and octanol. Okay, so these modifier depends on its our polarity of analytes. Okay, so this is the use as a modifier or co-solvents in mobile phase. So next is the additives. Okay, what is the additives? Additives it helps to the diffusion rate of our analytes and its highly polar compound to elute strong acid base percent between 0.1 to 2%. Okay, additives is highly polar compounds and elute strong acid base and near about its percent 1.1 to 2%. Okay, example of additives. There are different types of additives we are used in this chromatography, supercritical fluid chromatography. Isopropyl amine, triethylamine, other amines such as ammonia, tri tertiary alkyl ammonium salt, tetrafluoroacetic acid, formic acid, acetic acid, ammonium acetate, ammonium formate, water, etc. we use as a additives. Okay, so these helps to the increasing polarity of analyte, at that time increase the polarity of mobile phase. So they helps to the easy to separation our analytes. So in this graph In this figure, we discuss on the effect of increasing polarity in separation. Effect of stationary phase and mobile phase with increasing polarity. Increase the analyte's polarity, then we increase the polarity of mobile phase with adding the additives. Okay. So in our analytes, suppose we use a pentane and ether types of compounds. At that time, we use a supercritical fluid as a CO2. Okay. So then our analyte consists ether or alcoholic amine, amides, etc. At that time, we use a modifier. Okay. Why? Because increase its polarity, our analytes, and that's why we use increase the polarity of modifier. Similarly, our analyte present alcohol, acid, primary aliphatic amines, etc. At that time, we use a supercritical fluid CO2 as well as modifier, and additionally we add a additives. Okay, so just discuss different types of additives are present we use for increasing polarity. So then present atmospheric pressure or peptides, etc. At that time we use a supercritical fluid CO2 modifier additive plus water, for because peptide is highly polar, and that's why we use a modifier additives and water. But we use only supercritical fluid. At that time they cannot be resolve or diffuse, uh, and they difficult to separate the analytes. That's why we add a supercritical fluid modifier and additives plus water. So then this is the borderline of separation, such as inorganic ions, large protein, DNA, RNA, etc. These materials are the borderline material. They cannot be separate directly in this chromatography. Okay, so borderline analytes, inorganic ions, large proteins, DNA, RNA, they are highly polar, so that's why we use as a borderline analytes. Okay, so in this comparatively study the presence of peptide, at that time we use in HPLC, such as ion pairing chromatography, ion pair. Okay, so presents the ether, alcohol, acid. At that time we use a HPLC. Okay, so these borderline ionic, inorganic ions, proteins, DNA, RNA, these borderline in supercritical fluid chromatography, these analytes we separate in ion chromatography, ion exchange chromatography in HPLC. So similarly, pentane, ether, etc., alcohol, these separate by using a normal phase HPLC or HCLC, high chromatographic liquid chromatography. So then acid, primary aliphatic amines, these use as a hydrophilic interaction liquid chromatography. Okay, so what is the difference between supercritical fluid chromatography and HPLC? Okay, so this supercritical fluid chromatography separate a same analytes in HPLC, but this diffusion rate, resolving powers is different. Okay, So completion of column is also different. Okay. So in compared to HPLC is lower completion of column in supercritical fluid chromatography. So it's short analytic chromatography. Okay. Shortly we are analysis or shortly analyzed our analytes in supercritical fluid chromatography as compared to HPLC or other chromatography. So here we are discuss a characteristics of ideal detector. What is the characteristics of ideal detector? They adequate sensitivity, they good stability and reproducibility, also linear response towards the our analytes signal, detector signal. It must withstand a temperature range. Okay. So then characteristics of ideal detector, it's short response time, high reliability and ease of use. Then simplicity is a reason towards all solutes. And then simple non-destructivity. Okay, so this is the characteristics of ideal detector. And there are different types of detectors are used in supercritical fluid chromatography such as UV visible absorbance, fluorescence, flame based and means flame detector, and fourth is the mass spectrometric detector. First, flame based supercritical fluid chromatographic detector, flame based detector, and then mass spectrometric detector. There are two different detectors are mostly used in this separation technique, flame based detector and mass spectrometric detector. FID is the among these flagship is most important. Then pure CO2 do not respond. Then for modified CO2 mobile phase universal acoustic flame detector. And then AFD. AFD it depends. Acoustic flame detector AFD. AFD depends upon change not occurs in frequency of a caustic emission. Okay. So these frequency versus carbon atom. These detectors depends on frequency versus carbon atom and they indicate mu versus phi c and its responsible sensitivity. Then mass detector. Any mass analyzers used for LCMS. Okay, so different types of mass analyzers were used, but LCMS can be used for SFCMS, means supercritical fluid chromatography mass spectrometry. Similarly, we use in last chapter LCMSMS, means liquid chromatography used as a separation purpose and MSMS used as a mass detection purpose. Okay, similarly in this FC, SFC, supercritical fluid chromatography, these techniques we use a separation and then detectors, mass detectors we use as a detection, mass analyze purpose. So APC, atmospheric pressure chemical ionization detectors are also used, is a most common atmospheric pressure chemical ionization detector used. It is high voltage discharge used for ionization. It's applied to polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons explosion, surfactant, then other modules are included. Next, pneumatically assisted ESI, electron spray ionization are also used, and atmospheric pressure photoionization are also used in this mass spectrometric detector. So these are the different uh, techniques used in mass spectrometric detector. So next is the UV visible absorbance in supercritical fluid chromatographic detector. Okay, so in this mainly used for supercritical fluid chromatography application purpose, then UV in which use a light UV cutoff wavelength of CO2, and they absorb its wavelength near about 190 nanometer. This particular frequency absorbs only CO2 molecule. Okay, so cutoff wavelength for CO2 is at near about 190 nanometer. Methanol absorbs at 205 nanometers wavelength, and ethanol and isopropanol absorb 210 nanometer wavelength. Acetonitrile absorb UV visible light at 195 nanometer wavelength. Similarly, additives, different types of additives we use for in mobile phase. These additives absorb light near about 230 nanometer. Then flow cell. Flow cell must be with stand pressure. Then it concentrated to heat exchanger. Okay, so this is the UV visible absorbance in supercritical fluid chromatographic detector. So UV visible detector. Second detector, we use a fluorescence detector. Fluorescence detector is a superior sensitivity and selectivity of in this separation technique. Second, cell must with stand pressure. Okay, so second necessary, cell must be with stand with pressure. And next point, modifiers affect the detection. Okay, so this is the property of fluorescence detector. Second application of this application of supercritical fluid chromatographic techniques. First, these techniques has been applied to a wide variety of materials. Okay, this supercritical fluid chromatographic technique has been applied to most variety of materials, including natural product, drugs, fruit, foods, pesticides and herbicides, as well as surfactants, polymers and polymer additives, fossil fuels and explosive, and then different types of propellant purpose. Okay, so this wide application for a supercritical fluid chromatographic techniques used for a separation, such as including natural products, drugs, food, pesticide, herbicide, surfactant, polymers, additives, fossil fuels, explosive, propellant, etc. As well as also it is mostly used for in pharmaceutical industry, because it is the most important application is the chiral and achiral compound separation technique. Okay, so mostly it is used for separation of chiral as well as achiral substances or separation purpose. Okay, so these chiral compound separation purpose, particularly in pharmaceutical industries, are used as a supercritical fluid chromatography as a separation technique. The increasing diffusion rate of this supercritical fluid over LC, liquid chromatographic eluids, leads to higher resolution and sharper peak, sharp peak to enable accurate measurement of the enantiomeric purity. So that's why increase its application, its importance, increase the important, and supercritical fluid, higher resolutions and more symmet- symmetric peaks are observed, and they easy to separate or easy to analysis. So that's why they increase its importance in separation technique. Okay, so out of this gas chromatography, GCMS, uh, liquid chromatography, HPLC, in this more important techniques means supercritical fluid chromatography is most important out of this. So next, thank you watching this video. So in this chapter we are discuss a supercritical fluid chromatography, its instrumental part, and use as a supercritical fluid, different types of supercritical fluid, then instrumental techniques, then different types of detector, additives, etc. Okay. So lastly we are discuss a application of supercritical fluid chromatography. Okay. Thank you watching this video. Thank you all of you. Have a nice day.